I'm going to teach you how to use the vowel chart. On this chart, we can see all the vowels in American English. We'll look at the columns and the rows, and these columns and rows are organized. So if something's in the same row, it's because those two vowels have something in common. And if something's in the same column, it's because they also have something in common. So knowing what they have in common can help you produce each one correctly. Take a picture of this chart now so you can refer to it throughout the lesson. First, let's look at the first column, tongue and jaw height. The jaw lowers so that the tongue can lower. So here's my jaw. If my jaw is very low, that means my mouth is very open. That's very low. Ah. But if my jaw is very high, my mouth is almost closed, such as E, E. That's a high jaw and a high tongue. E, A, A, I. Low high starts low, ah, and ends high, E, I. The top row says front, center, and back. A front vowel is where the tip of the tongue is higher than the rest of the tongue. So for the front vowels, here's my tongue. This is the tip of my tongue. It should point upward. A central vowel is when the tongue is flat. And a back vowel is when the front of the tongue is lower and the back of the tongue is higher. Now, front vowels and back vowels also have two versions, a short version and a long version. The short vowels will be relaxed, meaning the tongue will be relaxed. The long vowels will be tense, meaning the tongue will be tense. The next row of the chart shows the high vowels. Remember, the chin or jaw will be very high. Long E and long U are on the same horizontal row, so that means they have the same jaw height. So I can go back and forth between them without moving my jaw. E, oo. E, oo. As I do that, the angle of my tongue is changing because I'm going from a front vowel to a back vowel. E has the high tongue tip and oo has the low tongue tip. But see how my chin doesn't move. E, oo. E, oo. Of course, the lips were moving a lot. Short I and short back U are also both on the same horizontal row. They're a little bit lower than the long E and the long U. Also, the distance between them is shorter because they're both short vowels. So there's not as much difference between them. They're both relaxed. Again, they'll both be at the same jaw height. I, I, Notice how I'm gently rounding my lips for the short back U. It's not a lot of movement, and there's not a lot of difference between them, but the angle of the tongue is changing slightly inside the mouth. I, I, The next row are the mid vowels. For the mid vowels, your mouth is about halfway open. A. I'm going to put the tip of my tongue right under my bottom teeth. A. The next vowel in the center vowel is ER. Notice how they're on the same chin height. A, A, Again, I change the angle of my tongue from tongue tip up to flat tongue. A, A, The back vowel on the same horizontal row is the long O. We will have very strongly rounded lips and the tip of the tongue will be down. O. Notice how all three are at the same jaw height. A, O. I can even go back and forth between A and O. A, O, A, O. And right in the middle, if I stop in between A and O, I will find ER. A, O, A, O. Short E and short U are also mid-vowels, but they're relaxed mid-vowels. They're on the same horizontal row. E, You can't even see a difference. I feel my tongue tip go up on E and it comes down on Otherwise, they look pretty similar, right? Being at the same jaw height. E, Notice that my mouth is halfway open. E, So it looks like this with my tongue. E, The bottom row are the low vowels, starting with short A, which is very American. Open your mouth a lot. Put your tongue at the bottom of your mouth, but lift up that tip. Ah. Now there's two ways to do the short A, and I'm going to show you both. So let's start with the first method, tongue tip up. To show you this, I'm going to show you the difference between short A and short O. Ah, ah. Did you see my tongue tip come up for the short A? But notice how the jaw stayed at the same height. Ah, ah. Now here's method 2 for making the short A. You can just put your tongue tip on your bottom teeth and arch your tongue up so we can see the tongue. Ah, but you'll have to lower your chin a lot. Ah, You can do it whichever way is more comfortable for you. The back vowel of the low vowels is the short back O, and it's optional because only 50% of Americans use it. Those who don't use it just use the central short O all the time. Notice how all three of these vowels are on about the same jaw height. So we have ah, aw. So the short back O is just rounded. The tongue tip is lower than the back of the tongue, and the lips are oval shaped. Aw. So we have ah, aw. Now let's look at the long I, which is a low-high front vowel. It consists of two different parts. It starts with the short O, ah, and ends with the long E, as in high. Watch my chin go from very low to very high. High. When a voiced consonant, such as D, follows the I, we also start from the short O and end at the long E. For example, hide. But when a voiceless consonant, such as T, follows the I, we don't start from the short O. We start from the short U, which is a mid-central vowel. Notice, height. I don't need to say height, and that would sound rather awkward. Now let's look at the next low-high vowel called oi. Some instructors call these vowels diphthongs or moving vowels. So oi starts with the long O, which is actually a mid-vowel, O, and then it ends with the front vowel, long E, which is high. So it goes oi, oi. Make sure you round your lips on the O and smile on the E. Oi. Now let's look at the third low-high vowel, the long OU, as in ow. It starts with the short A, which is the low front vowel. And then it ends with the long U, a high back vowel. So this vowel moves all the way across the vowel chart. It's really fun to say it because it's a lot of movement. If you have a word like bow, where the word ends in the vowel, you'll go really deep. You'll start with a big short A, ah, and then proceed all the way to the tight-lipped ooh, bow. If the word ends in a voiced consonant, such as bound, which ends in an ND, I will still start with the short A and end with the long U. Bound. It might not be as deep or as big as bow, however. And if the word ends in a voiceless consonant, such as T, like about, I'm not going to say about. That's too much. Instead, I'll start from the short E and end with the short back U so that I'm using two relaxed vowels and not putting as much effort into it. About. Ow. Ow. About. Now we've looked at all the vowels on the vowel chart, but let's look at some more details about them and get some practice in. Let's look at all 5 front vowels from high to low. I want you to notice how my jaw or my chin lowers and my mouth gets bigger each time I say a different vowel. I'll start from the high vowel. E, I, A, a. Again, E, I, A, a. And with the words, it would be feed, fin, fade, fed, fad. Try practicing in a mirror after this lesson and see if you can do those words really fast. Feed, fin, fade, fed, fad. Remember, for the front vowels, your tongue tip is up. Now let's look at all 3 central vowels, which have a flat tongue. Ah, ah. Ah. Notice how my chin was dropping between each one. For we want to pinch the corners of our lips. And pull your tongue backward like you're going to swallow it. Your tongue should be all the way backward. Now, for the tongue is relaxed. And the chin's a little lower. And for ah, your tongue is all the way at the bottom of your mouth, open wide like the doctor says. Say ah, and sticks the tongue depressor in your mouth. So again, we have ah. Curler, cut, caught. Now let's look at the 4 back vowels all together. All of the back vowels will have the tongue tipped lower than the back of the tongue. And all of the back vowels are rounded, though short back U is relaxed and very gently rounded. So let's start and notice how my chin gets lower for each vowel. Ooh, oh, ah. Again. Ooh, oh, ah. Boot, bull, bone, boss. Let's practice all the vowels while you look at the vowel chart. I have chosen a word that always begins with P and always ends with L, but the vowel in the middle is always different, and we use all of the vowels on the chart. So let's say them together. Repeat after me. Let's start with the front vowels from high to low. Peel, that's the long E. Peel. Pill. Pale. Pellet. Pal. Now the central vowels. Pearl. Pulse. Pollen. Now the back vowels. Pool. Pull. Pole. Paul. And now the moving vowels, the 3 on the top row. Pile. Spoil. Powell. Practice makes perfect.